Hello everyone and welcome to this webinar. I'm going to share my webcam with you because I think that it's nice for you to see me. There are lots of people who have registered for this webinar who don't actually know me, so I think that it's nice for you to be able to see me as well as hear me. So the webcam is on, so hello everyone and welcome. If it does interfere with the broadcast, I will turn it off so that you can see the slides properly. So today I'm going to talk to you about how to use Instagram stories. And I know right now everything is really challenging, and you know, we all want to have ways that we can communicate with our customers and our target audience in general. So this webinar is a how-to. There are no sales pitches in this webinar. I'm going to take you step by step through how you create Instagram stories. They are really popular in social media marketing, and you'll see when you flip into your timeline on Instagram, you will see a lot of stories on your timeline. I think they will grow in Facebook too, so you will notice that Facebook has stories as well, and if you're not using those, I suggest you start using those now because not very many businesses are, and it's a great opportunity for your business to be seen. So Instagram stories are a great way to post impromptu content, and they're really easy to use. And if you didn't know, they hang around for 24 hours, mostly, but we'll come on to that. And they're a brilliant way to showcase your business. So please do ask questions as we go along. I've left time at the end to go through them. Now you can do that by tapping your questions into the question box, which is in your GoToWebinar panel. So just to make sure that you know where that is. Brilliant. Paul says he can hear me and see me. So he's found the question box, but for the rest of you that are on the webinar, for you to just make sure that you know where that question box is. Can you find that and type in where you're joining from today? Hi, Nicola. So just type into the box where you're joining from today so that I can make sure that you know where that question box is. So Sean's in Chester, Salisbury, Liverpool, gosh, Derby, Norway. Wow. Gosh, they're all coming through thick and fast. Spain, Rome, Surrey, Belfast, Blackpool, Halifax, Huddersfield. I used to live near Huddersfield. Surrey, Bath, love Bath, Glasgow, Blackpool, Sidcup, Wales, Wirral. Gosh, right, you're all there. You all know where that question box is. That's absolutely brilliant. So as I said, keep tapping your questions into that box as we go along, anything that comes into your mind that you want to know about, and I will go through as many of those as I can at the end. And I'll just remind you that this webinar is being recorded, so don't worry if you don't get everything written down, or you know, you don't want to make notes and you just want to sit back and listen. It's being recorded and I will send out the recording in the next few days. Okay, so let's look at what we're going to cover today. Firstly, what I'm going to do is tell you why you should be using Instagram stories, and I think you might be a bit surprised. The next thing I'll do is take you through exactly how to create a story. I know it can be nerve-wracking to start something, you know, to try something new. So today we're going to alleviate those nerves. I'm going to show you step by step how to create a story. And if you want to have your mobile next to you and the Instagram app open so you can follow along, please feel free to do that. We want people to react to our stories. So I'll talk you through some of the inbuilt features to help you get that all-important engagement. And lastly, remember I said stories only last 24 hours? Well, it's not exactly true. Highlights is a way to keep them forever, and I'll show you how to create your own highlights. Now, before we've started, I've got a question for you. So I'm just about to publish a poll. So tell me, do you already use Instagram stories? So you should see a poll pop up onto your screen, and if you can answer that, I can see where we are in terms of whether you use Instagram stories or not. So I can see the results are coming through. If you've not voted yet, there's still time. I'm going to close it in a little while. Let's have a look. Still a few more answers coming in, and I'm going to close the poll in 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Close. So actually, surprising. So 56% of you, oh, sorry, not surprising, 56% of you have said no, you don't use Instagram stories. You've never used them before, which is great. You're in the right place. So I'm going to show you exactly how you get started. For the 44% of you who have said that you do, hopefully today you'll learn some new things that you can adapt and use when you publish your stories. Now, don't forget, keep asking your questions in the question box as we move through the different sections. I am going to stop and drink water because I'm going to obviously be talking for quite a lot. So do you know, excuse me while I take little sips just to make sure that I can carry on talking. Okay, so I know there's lots of people who are on this webinar who don't know me. In fact, at the last look, I had 309 people registered for this webinar, which is incredible. So I'm just going to tell you a little bit more about me. So I've been a small business owner for 4 years, and before that I was head of marketing for the UK for a company called Constant Contact, which does email marketing. And it was there I was bitten by the small business bug. So I help small business owners like you find your inner marketer, and that marketer is there. I help you discover the recipe that will help your business, will work for your business. And whether you want to know how to use email marketing or social media, or you want to learn how to run a marketing campaign, I can help you get there and faster than you would on your own. I'm an official Facebook social media trainer, so I've been trained by them to deliver their content. This is actually my content, but I have content that I deliver on their behalf. And I host She Means Business meetups and workshops on their behalf in my area. When we're allowed to do in-person events again, those will start up again, but mostly now I'm doing things online for them. You can connect with me in all the places on this slide. I'd love for you to come and find me on your network of preference. And there is also a link there for you to sign up to the Marketing Morsel, which is my weekly email newsletter. Right, so why use Instagram? None of us has time to generate lots of content. We have businesses to run and they need to pay the bills. So why should we use Instagram stories? Well, there are several reasons. It's actually really great for casual content, the stuff that happens in your business that you would think, oh, that would be good for social media. And then you forget because you have to plan it. With stories, you can just take out your phone and you know, either shoot a video or snap a picture and add it to your story. It really does help add personality to your business. And, you know, we forget that people need to get to know, like, and trust us, especially if, like me, you're a service provider. And showing your personality really helps with this. Now, don't know about you, but I'm quite nosy. So I love taking a peek behind the scenes of a business. Stories is perfect to help you show behind the scenes of your business, and it helps with that personality thing. They're a great way to get feedback or do a bit of research, and I'll show you some of the features that will help you to do that. And lastly, there are around 500 million daily active stories users. That is huge. That means your audience is viewing stories. So why shouldn't they look at a story from you? So now you know why we should use stories. Let's get cracking on the rest of the session. So Instagram stories, as I've mentioned, they appear right at the top of your timeline, and you can see that on the screen in this green box. That means it's the first thing that users see when they open up the app. So when you add your story, it will appear first in that row. And each time you add to it, it will move back to the front of that row of stories. It'll be the first story that is displayed. Let's look at some ideas for your stories, and I'm sure in what I'm about to show you, you'll find something here that you can use. So we've got behind the scenes. I've already talked about that. You can use stories at events. You know, take impromptu shots at events, which is difficult now, but things will get back to normal and we will be able to go to in-person events. So use Instagram stories to either at your own event to document that event, or if you're attending an event, how you found it. Motivational quotes. People go to Instagram to be inspired. They want inspirational content. And motivational quotes in stories is a brilliant idea, and it helps you really connect with your audience. Get your followers to ask you questions, and I'll show you how you can do that shortly. But it's a great way to understand what's in their heads and the types of questions that they have for your business. Show off your customers. You might have maybe a video that a customer has sent about, you know, of them opening something that you shipped to them, or maybe they've sent you a video testimonial. It's brilliant content to add to stories. Maybe you want to run a competition. You might actually run it from your page, but you can use stories to announce it and build excitement and get people to your page where you want them to like and comment on a post. You can do some research, so you can use stories, and again I'll show you how you can do that in a moment, but you can use research in and amongst your do research in and amongst your followers. Build excitement for something. You might be launching a new product or a new service, and or even for an event. So for this webinar, I actually used a countdown clock for people to register, and I put that in my stories and then prompted them to go to my profile to register to attend this webinar. So you can build excitement. Talked about product and service launch. Again, you know, think about how you can use that to communicate with people when your product or service is launching, or even to get feedback from them in terms of whether it's the right product or service for them. Tips and tricks. Everybody wants to understand how they can do things better, more efficiently, how to use a product in a different way or a new way. So think about tips and tricks that you can share with your audience. Now, if you want to go and learn more about these ideas, I have actually written a blog post. So head over to my blog and search for Instagram stories ideas, and they will pop up. That blog post will pop up, and you'll be able to just get a bit more information on that. Someone's just said they're only seeing me. Are you showing a screen as I'm only seeing you? Yes, I am showing a screen. Shall I turn the webcam off? Is that distracting? I'm going to turn it off just so that you can see the screen. I've muted myself. Let's turn the webcam off. You've seen me. Right. Hopefully you can now see my screen. Let's just have a look. Yes, you can see my screen. Brilliant. So, as I mentioned, it can be nerve-wracking trying something new for the first time. So I'm going to break down for you how to create an Instagram story. And it's pretty similar for Facebook too. So if you want to start experimenting there, the steps are pretty similar. Some of the features are different, but you'll find your way along. And as I mentioned, if you want to follow along, get your mobile out now and open the Instagram app, and you can follow along with these steps. Okay. So here's what my Instagram looks like. Your phone might be slightly different, but the first thing you do is to go into the Instagram app, which you can see on the left-hand side there. And then you need to select the Instagram camera. So if you select that, what will happen is the camera will open up and you'll get something like what you can see on the right side of the screen here. And now you're ready to take the next step. So let's look at some of the camera features. Under that white button, you'll see various options for the camera, and you can slide your finger along and go along those and choose different ones. So here are some of them. Create, and we'll go into more detail about this shortly. Normal is to take a photo. Layout will be to create a collage of up to 6 images. Boomerang, if you've not heard of Boomerang, it's a camera in the Instagram app, but it's also a separate app, and you can take short videos. They capture a movement, and that video is the movement being repeated. So I could do jazz hands, and Boomerang would capture me doing that. Super zoom slowly zooms in on one object or person that you're taking a photo of. So you can choose overlays for that. So perhaps you can have hearts or something like that. Hands-free lets you record a video hands-free, so you tap and release the button to get started. Pick from gallery. This is on this image. It's the bottom left of this image in the corner. You pick from gallery, and that allows you to choose photos that you've already taken. Okay, so now we know what the different camera features are and what they do. Instagram actually does update these frequently, so don't forget to look and see what's changed and experiment with the new features. And do remember to ask your questions in the questions box. And I will get to those as we right at the end. I'll go through all the questions. Okay. Oh, there's my little finger to show the different things. So just as there's a live function on Facebook, there is also one on Instagram, and you can use this to get engagement for big announcements like a product launch, or you can choose to do a live every week with different topics. But there's more. So remember the create feature I talked about. This gives you really a lot of options to create stories and interaction. So what I'm going to do now is go through them. Since I created this and updated it, Instagram may have added more to this. So forgive me if not everything is in here, but they are continually updating this. So the first one is create, and you can tap on here and just type your post on here. And once you've done that, you can then add other bits to it, like stickers and that kind of thing. So we'll come on to stickers in a moment, but create is the first option. You can also add a GIF to your story. So you just search in that box to find the GIF that you want, and you can add that to your story, and then publish it as a story. Templates. So there are several templates on here, and you can just see the dice in the top of that image, and every time you tap on that, that will give you another template that you can use. So you can have a bit of fun with these templates, and you can insert your own image in that, and just play around with it and see what your audience responds to. You have a kind of time hop, this day in history, where it will pick out what you had posted. So you can see 2 years ago I was going to go live on my Facebook page, I think this was, and you can share that, and maybe share it as a memory and sort of something that maybe a milestone in your business if that comes up. So you can share that as a story. Then you have questions, and again you can see in the top of that picture that there are 2 dice, and if you tap on those, it will give you an option of different questions. This is just a yes/no answer. Now remember, I said you could use Instagram stories to research your amongst your followers. This is a great option to do that with. So you can ask a straightforward yes/no answer. If we introduced a service like this that helped you do this, would it help you? Yes, no. So it really gives you an idea of what your followers are thinking and what they feel about what you're, the question that you're asking, or the thing that you're about to do. This is kind of limitless. It's only limited by your imagination in terms of how you can use this to research amongst your followers. Next is ask me a question. So you can put this up, and again, you've got the dice in that, so it's, you know, it gives you different options, but now you're giving your followers a chance to ask you something. So maybe you can pick a topic and say, you know, I'm going to answer questions about a certain topic today. Tap in that box and you'll get a list of questions, and then you'll be able to go back to each person and tell them the answer. And what's more, you can then create another story with that and add it to your story, so people see the types of questions that are being asked and the answer that you're giving. This is really great for showing off your expertise. Countdown. So I said that, you know, adding excitement. So the countdown clock helps do that. So I mentioned that I use this to really build some excitement for this webinar and get people, you know, encourage people to register for it by giving them a countdown in terms of when registration would close. And then questions. So you can get people to engage, you know, guess my favorite ice cream, or, you know, whatever business related question you want to ask on there. Again, you've got the dice at the top of the screen that helps you, that changes the templates for you, and you can edit the question. So, and then give people options and they can choose, and then you can share that result as another story. So remember, you know, just think about these features in terms of giving you content, because if you can't think of stuff yourself, I think this is a really great option to create stories, to get engagement, and really not have to think much too hard about the stuff that you want to put on there. I've tried a few of these templates, like the, you know, the options or a question, and people have responded to them. So if you're stuck for ideas, head to that create function to be inspired. Right, so do you know, Instagram is not limited to you know, taking photos, so you don't have to snap a picture and put it on story straight away. You can use what you've already got. So as I mentioned, in the bottom right hand corner of my screen, there was choose from gallery. Once you do that, this is the view I get. So you can pick a single image or photo, or you can pick multiple images by clicking on that option up there, which is got that yellow finger pointing at it, and that lets you pick up to 10 images that you want to share on your stories. So all those photos that you take thinking that you'll use them and then forget, you can now use them for your stories. So isn't that brilliant? Because we all snap pictures all the time, and it's, you know, we don't use them. So it's a great way to start going back and looking at the photos that you've taken and using them for your stories. Don't forget to keep the questions coming. I remember I'm going to go through as many of them as I can at the end. Right, once you've taken your photo or added your image, you can add stickers to the text, and stickers and text to your image. So just where you can see that yellow finger pointing, you can see the options. The first one is stickers. So if you look at it's the little square with the smiley face with the corner turned up. That helps you to choose a sticker. So a sticker is a location place, you can mention somebody, it's a hashtag, a GIF, all sorts of things. And I'll just show you an example in a moment. The squiggly line is a pen, so that helps you to draw over your image, or write if you want to write in handwriting, but I find that difficult. And the capital A and the small a is, if you tap on that, you are able to add text to your image. So let's look at stickers. Here's what they look like. You can see you've got location, mention, hashtag. You can add a poll from here. You can add the countdown. You can do questions. that slider one with the heart-shaped eyes, you can ask a question, ask people to slide that along, depending on how much they agree or disagree. The possibilities are endless. They really are. So, you know, experiment with that sticker function when you publish your story. So when you click on the capital A and the small a, this is what will come up on your screen, and you can see you've got a keyboard there. You can type out your text at the top where it says classic in that oval sort of pill-shaped box. If you tap on that, you can change the font, how the text looks. If you tap on the A in the box, you can add a background color, and once you do that, you can slide along those colors at the bottom to pick the color that you want to add as a background to your text. And then you've got on the left hand side, you've got the lines that are all centered. That lets you center or left align or right align your text. So you've got a lot of options there with what you can do with your text. And it's good to add some text. Not maybe you don't need to add it all the time, but you know, if it isn't obvious, if the context of the image isn't obvious, it's good to add some text so that people know what that is all about. Oh. Right, highlights. So stories last for 24 hours, except when you add them to your highlights. Then they are available to view forever from your profile. Well, forever or until you decide to remove them from your highlights. So I'm going to take you through how to do that. Remember, keep the questions coming. I can see that they are coming, and I'll go through them all in one go at the end. And I've left a lot of time for questions. We're not that far off the end of this webinar, because I know that you want to understand how to use stories really well for your business. So keep those questions coming in. Okay, so stories stick around for 24 hours, except when they become a highlight on your profile. They're a great way to keep some of your stories alive, and it gives you a chance for additional communication for anyone that visits your profile. Now, the first thing I suggest you do is work out how many highlights you want and what they'll be called. Now, my highlights here all have covers, and I did this by using a stories template in Canva. I saved the image to my phone and created a story with each cover, and then I was able to add the cover image to the highlight and make it the cover. This is all really simple. When you go through, Instagram takes you through step by step how to do all of this. So to get started, you select new, which is right there on your screen, and that's going to take you to a screen where you can name your highlight and select the images from stories that you've already done to be included. So what I would suggest you do is publish all of your covers as stories first, and then go through the process of creating a new highlight, choosing that cover for that particular highlight, and then any other images that you want to add to the highlight that are already stories, and then making that cover image the cover for the highlight. So what happens if you want to create a story, create a highlight that you've already added as a story? Well, when you go to stories, once you've taken a photo, you can add that image. So what you need to do is click on your profile picture, and what that does is it takes you to this page, and you then select archive, and what that does is takes you to an archive of all of your stories that you have previously taken. And what you can do is you can go through these, and then you can select the ones that you want to add to that story. And you can do this for each individual highlight that you've got. So I'm going to go back and just show you how I got there. So you can see at the bottom, the yellow finger is pointing at my profile picture. You tap on that, and then you tap on the archive menu at the top. Now this is available for Instagram business pages as well as profiles, personal profiles. But if you don't have a business page for your business, if you're running through a personal profile, I really recommend you convert to a business page, because as you can see, the next option on that list is insights, and you only get insights on a business profile, and that gives you a whole lot of information that is going to help you to understand your followers, what they're engaging with, where they're from, how old they are, what time they're on Instagram the most, so that you can start publishing content when they are most likely to see it. So do convert your personal page into a business page, so that you can get access to that insights option. Sorry, I'm just going to have a drink of water. Remember, once you've clicked on Stories Archive, you'll get to a screen like this that shows you all the stories that you've previously published, and you can see in the bottom right hand corner, that's the countdown clock that I published to promote this webinar, and I wanted people to head to my profile and to register, which they did. So you can see that I used a sticker there as well. So that's my hashtag, Minal's Tips. So I use that as a way to promote me and promote my brand, so that people will learn to recognize that as they see it more regularly. You can pick any story in there and add it to the archive that you want to add it to. So you can do that really easily. You see I've put my Christmas lights back up as well. I did that 2 weeks ago because I just needed cheering up. So every night as dusk starts to fall, I plug in my Christmas lights, and it just makes the house a bit more cheery. Okay, so I'd said I was going to leave a lot of time for questions, because I know you will have some, and I am. But before we move on to that, I do want to tell you about my next webinar. This one is designed to help you make the most of listings like Google My Business and reviews. Both are equally important now and in the future. And why now? Well, people are still looking for local services. They're still looking to buy things. And if you've changed the way that you're doing business during this time, listings are important to help you communicate this. I know that a lot of restaurants and pubs are now offering takeaway services, and changing that on your listings is a really good way to help you communicate that, because people are searching. They are still searching for these things. Of course, reviews will help you win business. When people see, when they're looking and researching, and they're thinking about buying from a business, they want to know the experience that other people have had with that business. So reviews are really important to help you win business. So do save your place. You can see a link on that slide, but I will be sending you an email with details on how to register as well. If you are joining from other parts of the world, this is at 10:30 AM UK time. So just to make sure that you know that. Okie dokie. So that's everything that I want to tell you about Instagram stories, and I hope I've alleviated some of your nerves and shown you that using Instagram stories is not as scary as you first thought. Remember, use stories for ad hoc content. If you don't have something planned for that day, can you snap a photo? Can you use one of the options under create? Or do you have a photo? Can you do a throwback Thursday or a flashback Friday of something that really will help engage your audience? Use any of those options to actually put something out. And remember, the more you add to your stories, the closer to the front of that list of stories you appear. So before we move to questions, I just want to tell you about my newsletter, The Marketing Morsel. I've said that I think that every single one of you has a marketer inside you. And I also think that marketing is a lot like cooking. I love cooking, I love baking. So with the right recipe, ingredients and basic tools, you can learn how to bring out that marketer that's lurking inside you. And the Marketing Morsel is going to provide the recipe, the ingredients, and the tools. So you can join via the link on the website, on the slide even, but I will send you an email as well, just so that you can let me know that you want to get that. Everyone who does join through that link will be able to choose one of 3 recipes to get them started. So if you want the 3 recipes, join through that link. If you're happy to just to confirm that you want to stay on my list, wait for the email that gives you that option. Remember, I don't add anyone to my list that doesn't give me permission, so you have to give me permission to do that, and I don't share my list with anyone, and you can unsubscribe at any time. Right, so I'm going to leave that slide up for you whilst we look at questions, and I'm just wondering if I can pop out this question box to see what people have asked. Let's go right back up to the top after the places where people are joining. Right, first one, does it cost money to convert to a business account? Nope, it's absolutely free. Using Instagram and Facebook business pages and sharing content, you can do that without spending any money. The money comes in when you want to advertise. So there is no cost involved with converting your Instagram profile to an Instagram page. I really recommend you do that because the insights are brilliant. They really do help you understand more about your audience. They also help you understand how your content is performing. Oh, let's just have it. You refer to Instagram stories as a brand new user. Do you mean just Instagram as a whole? I'm not sure I understand that question, Melissa. So if you want to help me understand that, I can answer it. So we've got Tanya. She doesn't have Instagram yet. Starting at the stage of starting a fashion collection. Therefore, should I open a personal Instagram account or a business account? Definitely go for the business account. You can have a personal account. So I've got 2. So I have my business account and then I have a personal account. The personal account is open. Anyone can follow me there. And they get an insight into my world outside of business, which is mostly travel and cake and garden. So, you know, if you have a personal account and you're happy for it to be open, do be aware of the things that you share on there because, you know, obviously it links back to your business. But I would say for your fashion brand, open a business page. How do you add subtitles to post stories? So if you want to have subtitles for the videos that you include in your stories or posts, if you're recording them on your mobile, I use a really great app called AutoCap. So it's auto and cap squished together. And what you do is you upload your video into the app and you give it a few minutes to whir and do some thinking, And then what it does is it comes back with the captions, and then you go through and edit anything that you see that's wrong, and then you download it. And I only use the free version because that's all I need, and because a lot of people ask me what I use, it puts a little watermark of their logo on the video so people can see what I use and they can go off and find it. If you record something on your laptop, let's say, that's a bit longer, I've used rev.com, rev.com, that go and transcribe what you've said on your video, and they send you back an SRT file. So there's a little bit more involved, and then you have to embed that onto your video. And I've only done it the once, and it was pretty easy. I can't remember how to do it, but I googled it, and it was pretty. The instructions were pretty easy to follow. So I would use AutoCap if the video is recorded on your mobile. I hope that helps. How do you attract the people who don't already follow you onto your Instagram stories? Right, so if people are not following you, I'd suggest that you start following them and engaging with their content, because every time you comment or like somebody's post, they get an alert. And commenting is better because you're actually adding something to their post. You're helping their post travel a bit further, and then they see you and they think, oh, this person's doing quite a lot of engagement on my post. They're asking questions or they're saying nice things. Let me go and check them out, and they'll give you a follow. Once they start following you, they'll be able to see your stories in that list of stories at the top of your profile. Another great way to have people view your stories who don't follow you is to use popular hashtags, because when you search on hashtags, stories do turn up. So think about putting hashtags. You can put one hashtag as a sticker, but if you write some text, you can add some additional hashtags in the text, and that shows up in searches. I hope that helps, Sophie. Let's have a look. How do you convert Instagram and Facebook pages into business pages? Right, Instagram, you can convert, if you go into, I'm going to have a look, sorry. If you go into the Instagram app, sorry, I'm just having a quick look in my personal profile. You go into the Instagram app, you click on your image, and then you click on your image, you get that menu. Oh, it's not doing it. Tapped too many times. Right, click on your image. Then you click on the three lines at the top in the right hand corner, and you get your menu. And then you tap on settings, and I'm pretty sure there is an option in there, I think, because I've already converted mine account. There isn't, oh, right, so you then go into the account option that's listed in settings, you tap on there, and right at the bottom it says switch to professional account. So that's how you switch your Instagram personal account into a page. Facebook is not so easy. You have to set up a page. So you start from scratch and you set up a page. Now, I will tell you that Facebook does not allow, it's against their terms for you to run a business from a personal profile. And if they find you, they will shut you down. So what I would suggest you do is start your page, and then if you are using a personal profile, is to give everyone on your page a link to go and like your Facebook page. I hope that helps, Evelyn. How do you feel about watermarking your business name on stories, videos, and photos? I don't do it, but if it helps you, I'm not entirely sure that there's a reason you shouldn't. Yeah, I've not come across anyone doing that. I know photographers do that a lot for their imagery because they don't want people to use images that they should be paying for, but I don't have a problem with it. I guess it's personal choice, really. So I hope that helps, Kathleen. Catherine is asking how you get followers. Right. So set up your business page. Start following people that are interesting to you. That could be, you know, complementary businesses, partners that you want to work with, people who you want to target for your products and services. So that's one way. Start engaging with their content. So you've got to give to receive. So comment on their posts, like their posts. Once your page is set up, communicate it. So if you have a Facebook page, tell your Facebook followers you now are on Instagram, and give them your Instagram name so that they can go and like you. Tell your email list, put it on your website, put it on your email signature, everywhere that you can think of being able to communicate and promote that you are on Instagram, do that. So that's Catherine and Rowan who have asked the same question. Right, Hithan is asking, how do hashtags work? So hashtags, essentially, they're kind of like little bookmarks that pull through content that have a hashtag associated with them. So if you take my hashtag Manal's tips, if you go and search for that on Instagram, it will pull through all the posts, all the stories that have Manal's tips as a hashtag on them, so that you can then start looking through that content. So if you're looking for particular types, like you might be searching for small business tips. So you might search hashtag small business tips, and that will pull through all the posts, all the stories that have tips for small businesses in. And it's basically a way of cataloging posts that help people find content. Right, Carla, how often should we be posting stories? Is there a recommended time to post, or should we play around with it? So I would say test. So pretty much everything with marketing is testing to see what works. Remember, stories is ad hoc content. You can use your insights to help you understand when your followers are most online, so when they're likely to be scrolling through their feed, and use that and test. You can post stories as many times a day as you want, but for me personally, if I go and look at somebody's story and there's 20 or more things in there, I find that quite, I guess, annoying to have to go through that many. So I typically keep mine to maybe 5 different posts within a story. So I add stuff. Most of the time I post one thing, especially if I've got a question that, or it's there's a poll or something like that. I give people one thing to focus on. But if I'm just maybe documenting my day and interesting things are happening, then I might do maybe 5. But I find it a little bit annoying having to tap through or watch lots of things in one story. So I guess people will find it the same. So I would say really experiment and see what works for you, because unfortunately there is no one answer that covers everybody. So try different times of the day, try different numbers of posts, try a mix between video and photo, try the create function and ask questions, do a mixture of things. Right, let's have a look. Jeanette says she can't find templates. What does it look like? So you need to click on the Instagram camera, which is in the top left hand corner of your Instagram app, and that will bring up the camera, and at the bottom of the screen you'll be able to see the different types of formats for Instagram stories. If you can't find it, check to see that you've got the most up-to-date version of the Instagram app installed on your phone. So if you haven't, go and update that so that it puts all the new features in your app. So Jadina says, I haven't launched my small business, but have set up an Insta page. However, due to COVID-19, things have gone very quiet. What would you recommend sharing on my stories? I feel like I am posting lots of content, posting lots of the same content. What's your business, Janina? Let me know that. We're all struggling at this time. Think about what your audience would want to know. What's happening in their lives at the moment? What issues or problems, challenges have they got? How can you help them solve that? So it could be that you post tips, advice, all around your business. I know that lots of people there's a really great business called Stamptastic. Fran and her business partner sell name stamps for school uniforms, and you can imagine that it's gone pretty quiet for them because no one's going to school and we don't know when kids will be back at school. But they're doing some amazing content around how to keep children busy, how to keep them occupied, lots of different things, getting in experts to do Facebook Lives, just a ton of stuff that they're doing. So sit down and think about what challenges your audience is facing, and then come up with ideas that you can help them with and turn that into content that you can share on Instagram. Let's have a look. Done that one. So Trudy says, I'm using Facebook Live every day for fitness classes, but thinking of using Instagram as well. How do I do that? So what I would do is use Facebook Live on either a laptop or a tablet and have that set up somewhere, and then have Instagram on your mobile phone and go live at the same time on both things. If you have a tripod, you can set your phone up on a tripod. They're not very expensive. It's going to probably be a bit difficult to go to the pound shop, but I did get one in the pound shop, just a little one in the pound shop for £1. And then I ordered a much more professional, a more sturdy one from Amazon, which I think cost me £15 or £20. That you can put a camera or a mobile phone on, and you can have it vertical or horizontal. So just use 2 different devices and go live on them at the same time. You might need help to do that, but hopefully you've got someone that at home that can help you. So hi Marcellus. If I have activities in multiple companies, do I set up Facebook, Instagram account for each company? If they're separate companies, then I would, because probably your audience is different for each company. But if you have different services in the same company, I would keep it simple and have one account that covers the whole business. Hope that helps. Ooh. Let's have a look. I've done business pages. Is there a limit on stories in highlights? Yes, so you can have up to 100 photos or videos in your highlights, but you can have as many highlights as you want. So you can create as many as you want, but do remember that, you know, when someone comes to their profile, your profile, they'll only see maybe the first 4, and then they'll have to scroll to see the others. So think about how you want to position them and what are the first 4 things that you want them to see. But also remember that every time you add a highlight, a story to a highlight, it works like Instagram stories. It shoves that highlight to the front of the queue. So really work out what it is that you want on your page before you go and create it. Oh, thank you, Judy. She's saying it's a great idea, and she's loved the way I explained it. I hope I've really simplified this for you, because it does sometimes. You know, tech gets annoying and it's scary, and you know, you don't want to do something wrong. But all I say is, you know, experiment with Instagram, and if you accidentally post something, you just think, oh, that's rubbish, delete it. That's it. All you need to do is delete it. So let's look. I've done the captions question that someone else asked. Oh, thank you, Lizzie. So Lizzie's just said that she does use stories, but not as often as she should, and she's learned about what more they can do. Definitely won't be scared now. I'm so pleased. Thank you. Let's have a look, see if there's any other questions. Melissa. Okay. Refer to Instagram stories. Do you mean the news feed within Instagram? Brand new? No. So Instagram stories, there's two ways that you can post. I'm just going to switch on my camera because I want to show you something. Can you all see me? Let's have a look. Hopefully you can see me. In Instagram, I'm going to do a really awful thing and show you, hopefully on my screen. This is a post, and that's in your news feed, and up here are Instagram stories. So you can see, oh, I love cakes and sprinkles. So when you do that and you tap on the thing, it takes you through the stories that she has. So she's done a video of her children probably baking. Here's one of my lovely contacts, Contact to Ceiling, who has put up a story about how she's showing her children to peel a pineapple. So they're two different things and two different ways to communicate with your audience. So hopefully you can see that. I'm just turning my camera off again, so that it doesn't interfere with the questions. Oh, 3 minutes left. What can I sounds odd, but my business is a reflexology local business. Is my traffic, as I'm a physical treatment centre? Instagram has such glamour. How do I engage with people? Oh, massaging feet is not boring. Oh my God, I love having my feet massaged. So, you know, everyone talks about how their business is not interesting. I think, you know, you can come up with cool content if you sit down and think about it. Reflexology, you know, some people might not understand what it is. You can use stories to explain step by step what reflexology is. You can talk about how, you know, the types of ailments reflexology can treat, tips on how to maintain the kind of results that people get once the treatment is finished, and, you know, in between treatments, because I know reflexology you kind of have to have a series of treatments. I would focus less on not feeling that you're a glamorous enough business, and focus more on the needs of your followers and how you can help to address those needs. Okay, let's have a look. I've probably got time for one more question before I can sign off and let you all go. Oh, thank you, Jeanette. It's a really inspiring webinar showing us lots of features that she didn't even know existed. Okay, two similar questions. How do you add someone's review to your stories? And when someone reposts something of yours and tags you, you get a message saying add this to your stories. What happens when you say yes? Right. So if someone, I think these are kind of, they are similar. So if someone does a post and does a review of you and tags you in it, you will get a message and it says add this to your stories. If you click yes, what it will do is it will create a story for you, and it will do that. What it'll do is it'll put that original post in the story in the middle of the pane, and then it will give you space to add your own stuff. So you can add a bit of text saying, got this great review, so pleased, thank you, and you can tag the person that did it so that they see it. You can add a hashtag sticker. You might want to add a little like a heart or some kind of emoji that shows that you're grateful, and then you add it to your story, and then your followers see it. So I hope that's helped. Cool, it is 11:30. I've tried to get through as many of your questions as I can. So hopefully that's helped you. This is recording, as I said, so I'm going to need to convert this and then put it in a place where I can give you access to it. So give me some time to do that, but I'm hoping to get that out tomorrow so you can review the recording straight away. So I hope this has helped. You'll get a few other emails from me just with some bits and pieces that I think will really help you to make the most of stories. And I will also send you the details of my next webinar, which is happening on the 23rd of April. So it was lovely having you all here today. I hope that this has really kind of helped you to get a handle on Instagram stories, and that you'll be excited to use them. As this webinar ends, you will get a short survey from me. It's only 3 questions. I'd really appreciate it if you could just take some time to answer those, because it's going to help me to improve the webinars that I deliver and give you the information that you need to help you to maintain and grow your businesses. So thank you so much for joining me today, and enjoy using Instagram stories. Take care.